live. I'm live. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Just making sure my live feed is on Facebook. There we are. I'm live and I'm live, everyone. So good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. My name is June Allen and I'm the founder of the Art of Greatness at juneallen.net. So I teach Black self-love. I teach self-love to Black women. Hi, Marie. Thanks for joining. So today I want to share with you three things to do when you feel stuck. These are personally three things that I use when I feel stuck. Sometimes there are days that you just feel like you don't know what you're doing. I still have those days. I'm like, what on earth am I doing? What's going on? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And sometimes I just feel overwhelmed. Sometimes it's tiredness. It can be so many different things, but sometimes I just feel stuck and I don't know what to do. So I'm going to share three things that I do personally when I feel stuck. There's nothing wrong with feeling stuck. Sometimes it's an important part of the process. Sometimes it's the the brain's way of kind of getting you to kind of pay attention to what's going on. There's nothing wrong. It's just another way of increasing your self-awareness. All right, so I'm going to be sharing that today. So for those of you that have just joined or that are watching that don't know anything about me, so I am a student psychotherapist. I've only got a few months left before I qualify, and I'm also a racial wellness coach. So I teach different people about the link between or how to include and explore racism and what it means for your self-care practice. I incorporate all of that so you understand how you've internalized racism and what self-care practices you can use to deal with it, how to manage it. So I came into doing this work back in 2009 and sorry, just one second, this microphone just seems a little bit, that's it. I came back and doing this work back in 2000. I started my own journey, back in 2009. I went into 12-step recovery, had an amazing experience, but there was no cultural context to it. And so as a Black woman, I was really curious to know, how does that sit into, or how do I explore that as part of my healing process? So I became obsessed with reading, finding out stuff, just my thinking. I was always asking myself, okay, well, how does racism play a part in all of this? And then I started sharing a lot of my tools, a lot of my insights, and a lot of people resonated with what I was saying. And so that's kind of how the Art of Greatness was born. So now I run a mastermind for Black women, and we talk about a lot of different wellness things. Part of that is a book club. We're currently reading this book here, What Mama Couldn't Tell Us About Love. On Thursday evenings we unpack this book. It's not just an ordinary book club, it's more like a self-development book club. We read the chapter live in the session, and then the women share back their own experiences and thoughts on the chapter, and then I share my therapeutic experience as well. And there's a huge library of resources as well, and they can refer back to that as well if they want to do any more work. So we do that on a Thursday. On a Sunday we dive a lot deeper in the topics. And there's a kind of like a theme that I kind of do for each month. At the moment we're talking about how to do like mindful dating, and just unpacking what dating means, and how to go about it and all of that kind of stuff. We did the masterclass Sunday just gone, and we're going to be doing a series of things throughout the rest of the month in relation to that. So that's a little bit about what I do, if you don't know anything about my work. So let's dive into the content. So today I am sharing with you three things that you should do, or that you can do, three tools that I use when I feel stuck. Okay, the first one is to pause. Okay, make some time to pause, and so you can think. Sometimes when we feel stuck, I know for me, I can go into busy mode. I can keep myself busy. I'm running over here, running over there, doing this, that, and the other. And so I feel stuck, but I'm not really giving myself an opportunity to just pause and think and feel. Because sometimes feeling stuck, quite often for me as well, it means that there might be emotions and stuff, feelings that are stuck, there's a thought process maybe that I don't really want to look at, that I'm trying to avoid. So when you give yourself permission to pause and think about what's going on and feel what's going on, you can start to get a bit of an understanding as to what's going on for you. And if you're overwhelmed, it's an opportunity for you to just stop and think, okay, well, what's going on in my body? Is there anxiety? Am I tired? Am I hungry? Am I lonely? What's going on in terms of, what's going on in terms of the body, and thinking about what's going on in terms of your thought process. Is it loneliness? Is it that, I'm feeling angry or upset about something that maybe I didn't feel that I was upset. Hi everyone, thanks for joining. You might be upset about things that you didn't realize that you were upset about, so it's important for you to pause so that you can really think and feel about what's going on. And also, pausing can be a really, really gentle way to practice self-compassion. Sometimes when we feel stuck and overwhelmed, it's easy to get the stick out and start beating ourselves up with it. Oh, you should be doing this. Oh, you should be doing that. Oh, you should know what you're doing. You should know what you're doing by now, and all of that stuff that we tell ourselves. And it doesn't help. It doesn't help doing all of that. So just giving yourself permission to slow down and pause and schedule it if you need to. You might not be able to do it in the moment because you're busy or whatever, but even if you can just, schedule 15 minutes, 30 minutes or whatever at a certain point in time of the day, and schedule that, and make sure you keep that boundary so that you can sit down, go and schedule it that you're going to have a bath or whatever later on this evening or whenever you can do it. Sit and have that bath, and then give yourself an opportunity to sit and think about, okay, well, what is really underneath all of this? What is really going on with all of this? So the second thing to think about, the second thing to think about when you're stuck is, what is the secondary gain? Okay, what is the secondary gain for you being in this stuckness? Now, this one might be a little bit difficult to think about. It might sting a little bit, because at some level, especially if you've been stuck for a long time, what are you gaining by staying in this stuckness? What is the secondary gain? What is the payoff? What do you get to be right about? Okay, what do you get to be right about by staying in the stuckness? It might be that you get to not take responsibility for everything. It might be that you end up, using blame to justify why you don't want to take responsibility for something if you're stuck. Okay, what do you get to be right about? You might get to be right that I'm never supported. You might get to be right about, people don't really care about me. Or you might get to be right about, I'm always doing stuff by myself. I'm always doing everything by myself, or whatever it is, But thinking about what the secondary gain is really, really important, because that's where you're going to get your empowerment from. Because when you're stuck in what's going on externally, sometimes stuckness, you can feel the pressure of what's going on externally, okay, when you're stuck. But when you think about what is the secondary gain, it gives you the opportunity to really think about, okay, well, what's in my power? What can I change? And what is really the stuff that I can't do nothing about it? Okay, what is the stuff that I can change, and what is the stuff that I need to leave alone because I ain't got no business? I can't change other people. There's only so much I can do about all of that external stuff. But what can I do internally that's going to help me shift this situation? Okay, so really, really understanding what do you gain out of the stuckness. Okay, it might be that you're afraid, and that your fear is keeping you in that stuckness, because you can stay small, and you can stay quote unquote comfortable. Okay, there's no comfort in growth. There is no comfort in growth. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable, and sometimes that stuckness might be fear. Like I was saying, that stuckness might be fear. And so again, giving yourself permission to pause and think about what's going on, giving yourself permission to explore and ask yourself the questions about what's going on underneath all of the stuckness, okay, is really important for you to be able to move forward in a healthy way. So the third and final thing that I do, or that you can do when you're stuck, is to unpack the stuckness with somebody. Okay, unpack the stuckness with somebody. The live stream that I did last week was about, I shared 5 different black women that are in my circle, okay, that help me when I'm struggling. Okay, because I know that I can't do all of this work. I can't run my business. I can't support people. I can't hold space for anybody. I'm never going to be a really good therapist if I think that I'm going to do all this stuff by myself. It just don't work like that. And you can't do your healing process on your own either. Whatever it is that you got going on, whatever it is that makes you feel stuck, you need a village. You need support. And I can't tell you how many times, You know, I mean, I've got a meeting today actually with somebody. There's some stuff that I need support with today, and I've arranged, you know, like a group of a couple of people that I trust to come on and to help me unpack this thing that I'm feeling stuck about. Because sometimes other people may be able to give you insight into the things that maybe you can't see. You know, and this is probably something that's difficult for a lot of us to do, because I know there's that stereotype, that conversation that we all have, you know, black people don't trust each other and all of that kind of stuff. This is the reason why doing this work is important. Doing your healing work, doing your therapeutic work is important, because if you're trapped in that thing of, oh, I don't trust other black people, how are you going to heal if you don't learn how to trust other people? You've got to learn how to be discerning so that you can choose other people that feel safe. What are the things that you need in another human being, in another person, to feel safe? What are the characteristics of somebody feeling, you know, characteristics of safety in another person? Maybe that's another live stream I need to do actually. But what is it that makes you feel safe with that person? What is it that makes you feel that you can trust that other person? Be intentional about thinking about what those things are, because then it's going to give you an opportunity to then be discerning and think about, okay, well, who do I need to talk to about this? This is another reason why therapy stuff is so brilliant, because again, you're sharing stuff with somebody else. It's confidential. They're not going to share your business with loads of other people, you know, and it's not going to be the same. Obviously, if you tell a family member or a friend or whatever, you know, obviously you trust them, but you never really know if that other person is going to be chatting your business. And that's the fear with a lot of us. You know, we may carry a lot of shame about things that we don't really want to talk about, or that we don't feel that we can share with somebody. So we hold it. We hold on to it. And what is that doing to you inside? Yeah? What is that doing to you on the inside? It's eating you up. The shame is keeping you small. The shame stops you from branching out and doing things that you know you would have done ordinarily had you found a safe space to be able to unpack it. Okay? So when you think about feeling stuck, you feel like you can't move forward, you're feeling overwhelmed, you know, that last one, being able to unpack it with somebody or somewhere that feels really, really safe is so important. This is one of the reasons why, you know, I've been able to achieve what I've been able to achieve, because whether it's a recovery meeting, or whether it's with my therapist or my supervisor or an action partner, or, you know, whatever it is, people that I trust, friends, you know, I had to learn how to trust other people. I had to learn how to be discerning with other people. Hi Lydia, thanks for joining. I had to learn how to be discerning with other black people, because it's something that is really close to my heart, and I knew that I was going to have to learn. And that's not to say, you know, you've also got to remember that there are a lot of us in the community that are damaged as well, and so not everybody can be trusted. Unfortunately, that's the reality. But what you'll learn as part of the healing process, as part of your therapeutic process, is how to choose people that you can trust. How to choose people, how to set boundaries, what to look for in a person, how to trust your gut in making choices about who you can speak to about certain things and who you can't. That's how you end up moving forward, because holding on to all of that stuff, holding on to all of that stuckness is not going to move you forward. And ultimately, it's a very lonely place to be. It's a very lonely place to be. And as human beings, you know, it's our natural instinct. It's our natural, it's one of our core needs, okay, is to belong in a group, is to belong with other people, to be able to commune and to be in community with other people, to be able to share with other people. Unfortunately, because you live under the system of racism, because of the traumas that a lot of us have experienced, that's not something that a lot of us do. We've learned to keep our mouth shut. We've learned to don't trust. This is one of the things that I learned, you know, on this process as well. One of the 3 core things that we've learned that have been so damaging: don't trust, don't tell, don't feel. Okay? Don't trust, don't tell, don't feel. And those things are destroying us individually and as a community, because we've had to learn to keep our mouth shut about certain things, and it don't help. And we could lie to ourselves and go, oh, you know, I don't really want to tell anybody anything. But really, is it about you not telling anybody anything, or is it about your fear of being vulnerable? Is it more about your fear of being vulnerable, or is it really that you don't really want to tell people or don't tell people? But it's about you. I would say that a lot of it is more about your fear of being vulnerable. How are you going to grow? How are you going to build relationships with people if you don't have the courage to be vulnerable with somebody else? And there's nothing more beautiful than finding a space that feels really safe for you, where you can actually be vulnerable. I can't tell you the amount of tears and vulnerability that I've seen in terms of the mastermind group that I run on a Sunday, and in one-to-one sessions as well. People are just sharing their stuff because they understand that some people are getting to the stage where they just can't carry the load anymore. They can't carry the load anymore. They don't want to carry the load anymore. They don't want to carry the stuff that their parents passed on to them. They don't want it, and they don't have to. You don't have to carry all of that. There are other things that you can do. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling upset, if you're feeling trapped by your own emotion, by your own feelings, by your own pain, if you're feeling overwhelmed by all of that, those are the 3 things that I've shared today that you can do to help with that. The first one is to pause. The second one is to explore what is the secondary gain. What do you gain out of staying small? And the third thing is to unpack your stuckness with somebody that you trust. All right. If you've got any questions about anything that I've shared today, please feel free to send me a DM, or you can email me info@yardofgreatness.com. If you're interested in joining us for the book club, you can click the link in the bio, go to heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. That's heal.juneallen.net. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a really pleasant morning spending time with you, and I will see you next time. So take care and have an amazing day. All right. Take care. Bye.